This is Greg Laney from SalarySchool.com, and I'm going to talk about how to build a reporting hierarchy using Access. In human resources, there are a lot of different uses for creating a hierarchy. One is to design organizational charts. So if you want to follow a structure and convert it to a flat file so that you can see who reports to whom, this tool will allow you to do it. Also, this is also useful for the merit review process. So if you're building merit spreadsheets and you need to know who needs to approve whose merit increase and what the chain of command is, you can use this tool for that as well. Approval process is much like the merit review process. If you need to know who signs off on expense reports or whatnot, you can use this tool for that as well. And then also, for larger organizations, if you're doing an OD layer analysis and you want to understand levels from the top or levels from the bottom of an organization, or you want to understand how your organization is built, this tool also helps you create that type of analysis. So what do you need in order to do this type of analysis? Well, first you're going to need a spreadsheet. Typically I use Excel. There are other spreadsheet applications that you can use for this. On that spreadsheet, you need to have a field to distinguish the employees. While there are a lot of different options out there, I would tend to use some sort of unique identifier such as an employee ID or something of that sort. You are also going to need some sort of corresponding manager field that matches employee field. For example, an employee may have an ID number, but then on that sheet you may have that person's manager listed with their manager ID number as well. And I'll demonstrate that in just a second. And then also, for my instance, I use Microsoft Access. You can use any type of open office database to do this type of analysis, but Microsoft Access is probably one of the simpler ones and one of the more accessible ones to people in a professional workspace. So to simplify this presentation, I've already created an Access database in which to demonstrate it, and this will help speed it up. But let's go ahead first and look at the Excel spreadsheet that we brought over. This is the employee roster. The important fields here are the employee, well, you see the employee name and the employee ID. But also I have manager name and manager ID. These fields are important because these manager IDs need to correspond to people in the employee ID. For instance, if you look at Excitement Jackson here, 1014. If I were to go in and look for that as a person, I would see that Excitement Jackson also has an employee row as well. And then they report into someone else, Sam LaSalle, who would then also have an employee row. So now going back to the landing page, what we do is we will create a hierarchy, and we will have it where I have the fields I've created, where I have the people, where Josie Jones is the CEO, and Josie Jones is, of course, the top person, so they have no one they report to. But if we look a little further in the organization, we will see Christopher Henderson is a corporate accountant who reports to Julio David, who is a manager of accounting, who reports to Jonathan Burnett, who's a director of corporate finance, who reports to Finn Ansley, who is the CFO, who then reports to Josie Jones. And you can see instances where some of these in the areas that have several layers report up. It goes much farther than that. So how do we create that? Now, to let you in behind the scenes of this, what I've done is really all I've taken is that company roster and I've replicated it multiple times. And I guess you could ask, how many times is the appropriate number of times? Well, to answer that, you have to know how many layers of management you have. So what I typically do is I would guess at how many layers you have, and then I would go ahead and bring in that many copies of that Excel file, or I would create that file in Access, and then I would bring in that table that many times. Then what you do is you link the employee, you link their manager ID to the employee ID, and you have it with the proper join so that you're going from the manager ID to the employee ID, and you just keep working that all the way up. So let's say I was going to create that. Let's say I was to create that. Want to create a query like that. What I would do in that situation is um, I would, with that, I would create a, and let me find the right button. It takes me a second with the new stuff. But what I would do basically is I would take the company roster, and I would pull it in multiple times. And this is just an example. I take the employee ID, manager ID, sorry, and take it the employee ID, and I make sure I've got the right join there. And I really just keep doing that. And I'm not gonna waste your time with doing it over and over. You saw how the end result is, but I'll do it for 3 of these instances. So then I'm going to pull the employee ID, name, job title, name, job title, name, job title, name, job title. And this is just a simple one. So when I run it, oh, it doesn't like that I have the extra ones. But so let's go ahead and cut those out. So when I go ahead and I run it, you'll see that what it does is exactly that. Josie Jones is the first one, and here I've got all the way to the end. So now what this tells me is when I have people here and I'm down to this manager level, I probably suspect that there's other levels below that. So what I would need to do is I would need to go in and I would need to add more more rosters. So I just pull the table in and I just keep adding until I no longer had any. With that, as you see, it builds out yet another layer. So it'll continue to build out, and basically what you can do is you can build out until where you actually have an entire blank row, and then you can go back and just delete that. I hope you've found this helpful. Let me go ahead and give you ways to contact me if you have any questions. I hope you found this presentation helpful, but if you want more information on this, you can visit our website at salaryschool.com. You can email me at greg.laney@salaryschool.com. You could also check out our Facebook page at Salary School Resources, or also you can visit the company LinkedIn page at the address listed. You can also follow us on Twitter at Salary School. Please rate this video favorably if you found it helpful, and I appreciate any feedback you have. If you have questions, do feel free to reach out to me at any of these contact methods. Thank you and have a good day.